Hello, hello, guys. How are you?
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, how are you, sir?
Great, Patrick. How are you, buddy?
Good. I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. This
You
is,
know,
I
just
think
to
this,
derail this thing right off the bus. I'm excited to be playing Call of Cthulhu right off the bat, not right off the bus. Who says that?
I mean, right off the bus, too.
Yeah, I guess it works either way. I'm excited to be coming back to Call of Cthulhu. So I've ran some Call of Cthulhu, and I played in one session of Call of Cthulhu. I love reading. Harlem Unbound is like an excellent Call of Cthulhu supplement. I love reading that stuff, but Call of Cthulhu yet to be has to me up until this point been something I like the idea of more than execution. So I'm really excited to be coming back to this.
Good.
That's interesting.
As a player. Yeah.
Excellent. It's good. I'm glad to run you guys both through it, and with a little bit of the different twist, with it being modern Call of Cthulhu as opposed to 1920s or 30s. It should be nice and different for everybody.
Yeah. And I think somewhere in the first episode, like I seriously hate rats.
Yeah, no, this is going to be,
perfect.
doesn't have anything to do with rats, this adventure. Not at all. With a name like Scritch Scratch, what would make you think like that?
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, nothing at all. So I will say, I need you guys to keep me honest, because this will be probably second or third time I've run Call of Cthulhu.
Okay.
So if I do screw something up, I apologize in advance. Just throw me under the bus and we'll fix it. Okay.
Yeah, should we give like a very broad, if this is I don't know, I guess we should I jumped the gun on even saying who we are, but after we did say who we are and what we're doing tonight, should we even like give a very brief rundown on Call of Cthulhu 7th edition?
Sure, sounds good to me. Art, you want to lead off on the who the hell are we?
Yeah, so this was all prelude, right? We're about to start for real.
Oh shit!
Should I cut this out?
Are we recording?
Are we recording? But yeah, so yeah, welcome everybody. This is Black Lodge Trivia Night, and we are an RPG actual play slash podcast. And yeah, tonight we're going to be starting our first sort of bigger, longer enterprise. Harder, exactly, yeah.
Faster.
And we're going to start with Call of Cthulhu Modern. Patrick's going to be GMing this. Me, Art, I'll be playing, I think my character's name is Simon Martin, and I think my screen will be the screen that you see in the stream. So, and then, yeah, Matt, how about you?
Yeah. So I'm going to be playing Shirley. I will not do a Miss Featherbottom voice all night and every time you hear this. But yeah, like I said, I like the Call of Cthulhu aesthetic. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm glad Patrick agreed to run this.
Yeah.
And
just so I put it out there, when we do our after action report or whatever on this, I'd be curious to hear what you were saying about Cthulhu as an idea. And Cthulhu is one of those games that I've always wanted to get really into. And I have about 40 pounds of books over here, but I've never actually, I played a couple of adventures, but I've never really gotten deep into it. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I think that was just a little teaser, a little nibble of what's to come in our after action report of, keep them coming back.
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah. Little tease will do you, right? So, I'm Patrick, by the way. I'm running the game tonight. Yeah, and I didn't do much prep. No, I'm just kidding. But I did do the prep. I I went back and I read, Color Out of Space, and
that's a great one.
Oh,
Curious Case of Charles Dexter Ward, which is my favorite. So I won't confirm or deny if any of that shit's going to come up, but we'll see. So
you're talking, and when you say you are referring to, you went back and read some H.P. Lovecraft, which of course is Great. Did you read The Rats in the Walls?
I did not. I did not go back and read it. I've read all of it, but it's or all of the stuff that's in the two books that I have, which whatever. But it's going to be good. I'm excited. So
Call of Cthulhu is a role-playing game that has gone through several editions that is based off the Cthulhu mythos, which is largely crafted by H.P. Lovecraft as well as others. We're playing 7th edition. It's a D100 based rule set. And so just for example, if Patrick calls for a roll of some sort, like
do a credit rating roll.
A credit rating roll, I'm looking for a 25 or less. And there's critical failures and successes. And we can also use luck points in a number of ways. I don't see we have any luck though, Patrick. Is that?
No, that was intentional because I wanted us to roll some dice at the beginning. So the way that you create that is if you could both roll 3d6 and multiply it by 5 for me, gentlemen.
Wow, it's like we almost talked about that, but we did not. All right, I got a 6. So do I have 30 luck?
You do.
All right. Yeah, so you can use luck to change your rolls or change your roll a little bit. You can also use luck to like say, hey, we need to take a cab. And you can like make a luck roll to determine is the cab actually there or do you have to hoof it?
There you go. Or in this case, one of the things that comes up a lot when I have read forums or the one time I played modern Call of Cthulhu was, hey, we all have one of these in our pocket.
He listed up a cell phone, people.
I did, listening. Yes, for the there you go. I'm sorry. So in Muscovy, which that's the name drop for the town, it is a little off the beaten path. And the way that this adventure will take that into consideration is because it's off the beaten path, you'll have to roll a luck roll to see if you even have cell service.
Oh, nice.
So, that's a great call.
Yeah, so I think that's a neat little thing. So just because, hey, it's rural England, so who knows if you have cell service or not. So
you guys may have more to say about it, but the one thing I'll add, and then I'll let you guys chime in on Call of Cthulhu, just as a whole, is like characters are not meant to be long term. It's very easy to have adverse consequences from seeing things, and then worse in Call of Cthulhu is understanding what you're seeing and grasping these eldritch horrors and what they represent, and your character will probably either go insane or die or something worse. And so maybe we'll see Shirley again, but generally speaking, most characters are not long-term characters.
Absolutely. That is and doubly so in this convention game turned multi-pronged adventure here. So I think one of the things that I like about this particular scenario that we're going to be playing too is that most of the characters have a very high intelligence, so they will understand what is happening to them, or they will figure out what is happening to them. So that's just a little teaser out there for that. So nice. I don't know if I've got anything else to add on the system as a whole. Do you, Art?
No, just that I tend to be a fan of D100 overall, and this is definitely not the original, but this one's been around for a while. Like Matt said, it's been iterated on multiple times. This is the 7th edition. It's been around decades. And overall, I've always had a great time when I've played it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it wasn't clear, generally a horror setting.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. We should
cosmic horror even. Yep. You guys ready to rock and roll?
I think so. I just pulled my books down.
Just grab.
It's been a few months since I've played, but this will be great.
Yeah. We'll be all right. It's been a couple months for me too, so we'll be fine. Real quick, drink check. What do we got going, fellas?
We would not be a white male podcast if we did not talk about what we're drinking.
Absolutely. You've got your Justice tea going.
Yeah, but it just hit me what Matt said.
Yeah.
You can call Art Ice, and I'll be referred to as Fire for the rest of the night. Art has iced tea. I have a little hot tea going.
Nice.
So, and I've got chai. So, what does that make me? We're the 3 T's.
This podcast brought to you by Tazo. Their tea bags are.
Keep going. I need you to finish that.
Yeah, please.
Dunked in our cups.
All right.
What do you do with the tea bags? Never mind.
All right. Good. Do we need Twin Peaks trivia? Do we need anything like that?
Yes,
I think we do.
Okay,
please.
Here we go.
Oh,
unless you got.
He's
something.
Always ready.
No.
Benjamin Horn.
Yep.
Is the owner of the lodge, right? Of the hotel.
The Great Northern.
The Great Northern. Yeah. And I can't remember the name of the psychologist who wears the different...
Dr. Jacoby.
Dr. Jacoby.
Yeah.
So Dr. Jacoby and Benjamin Horne, this is not the first time those two actors have worked together.
Oh.
Do you remember maybe the thing that they might be most famous for together? And I'm sorry, there's actually our town fireworks are going to be going off tonight. So,
Ooh, a little soundtrack.
Nice.
yeah, apologies
Ooh.
for that. Hopefully it doesn't get picked up.
Oh gosh, can you give me like a hint on who directed it or something? Unless Patrick, do you know?
I'm gonna guess something off the wall. We're like they on Gilligan's Island or something.
No, but I love your guess.
Thank you.
It's not Gilligan's Island, is it? Because then I'm gonna feel like a dumbass for.
I'm just going to, again,
Scoffing it.
I'll sit here until somebody says,
All right, Pat, can you give me a hint of who directed it, or was it a TV show?
it was a movie
Okay.
in 1961 directed by Jerome Robbins.
Man, I have no idea. 61.
I guessed Gilligan's Island, so that tells you how in the ballpark I am.
All right. The movie is West Side Story.
Oh shit!
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Benjamin Horne played the lead, and whose name I'm blanking on, and the psychologist played his best friend, Riff, and Tony and Riff. Yeah, Tony was Benjamin
Tony and
Horne,
Riff.
and Riff was Jacoby.
That's funny.
Yeah. So there you go.
By the way, Patrick, I know you haven't made it to the return yet, but Dr. Jacoby, slight spoiler, is also many of the characters return for the return, and Dr.
Makes
Jacoby is in it, and it's glorious.
He's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
I will say, since our last time, I felt like I was letting the team down because I'd been stuck on the same episode for I don't know 3 or 4 recordings, and I am now 4 episodes past where I was.
Okay.
So
Has anyone gotten stuck in an inanimate object yet?
somebody was stuck in a. That's probably not what you're thinking about, but they brought Leo home.
No.
Okay, all right, and he's spinning
When
around
you
the
see
room.
stuck inside an inanimate object, you will know it because no one has ever been stuck in this kind of object before.
Okay.
Okay.
All
It's like a low point in the series for me, but from there things get just brilliant. So Leo has fallen in the cake then, I assume.
Yes, Leo was in the cake. That was a great scene. And what's the deputy's name?
Coop?
No.
Sorry, no, Andy?
Andy. Andy's chased his semen sample around the front office. That was pretty low, honestly. I was like, really? Did we need this scene now?
Dick Tremaine?
Dick Tremaine is it's all gravy, baby. It's been a good time. So
Well,
all
we
right.
wouldn't be a Twin Peaks podcast if we didn't talk Twin Peaks.
There you go. So speaking of Twin Peaks, strange things happen. When strange things happen, it's probably Call of Cthulhu, right? Is that a segue? Did I just segue?
It is, and I'll segue,
Okay.
and I'll derail your segue by just saying
Excellent.
the more I read Delta Green, the more I want to like try to do something Twin Peaks with that. Anyways, proceed.
Nice.
That'd be awesome.
All right. We should. We add it to the list. All right. So let's set the scene. Okay. So with the current crop of reality TV shows in the United States and elsewhere that are firmly focused on the lives of the rich and famous, their history in the UK is far more mundane. In the UK, you have examples of shows like The Family, which is just a fly-on-the-wall category of reality. Like, it's just terrible. All of these are on the BBC. And, you know, as time goes on, and we all know this, we're scraping for subjects to watch on our 24-hour television reality show. So, what has come about of this is we have shows like How Clean Is Your House? Dirty Jobs, Ghost Hunters, other things like that you know you find on daytime TV on Discovery or whatever. This podcast brought to you by Discovery Channel. So you guys happen to be cleaners for a television show called Where's the Muck? Okay, so you guys have been called out by the town council of the small hamlet of Muscogee. All right. And we'll start kind of you're in the TV van or a little caravan of the TV van and the cleaning van, heading towards the city of Muscovy. And I'll just give a brief introduction of the other characters that we may see that are part of the crew that you would know about.
Okay.
So you guys are obviously playing Shirley and Simon, and we'll introduce you guys. You guys can do your character introductions in a second. But we've got Paul Martin, who is a former industrial chemist turned cleaner. He's a bit of a know-it-all. He runs the company, the cleaning company that the show is about, with his wife, Shirley, and occasionally his nephew, Simon. He is restless, dissatisfied, and he's hoping that this fly-on-the-wall documentary will help raise his prestige among his peers and give him a little bit of spice of life, right? In addition, so that's kind of the third person that rounds out the cleaning crew besides you two. And then on the reality TV side, we've got Amanda Peterson, who is an up-and-coming television producer. And we've got Tom Chambers, who is also known as Big Tom, who is a veteran of television. He is a cameraman, and that's his role on the team. And then finally, we've got Ellie Stamford, who just graduated with a degree in sound engineering, and this is her first real job. So she's the sound tech for the documentary. So you guys want to take it away with your characters as we're rumbling down the road. You know, you've got scenic, idyllic village on the side, you know, rolling hills, sheep, cows, the usual beautiful sunny day. You guys have been kind of driving for a while. This place is way out of the way. So, and we'll say Paul's driving.
And is Paul my husband?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Yeah, so I am playing Shirley Martin. She is from the theater. And when that regional gig never panned out, and largely that didn't pan out because she kind of got stuck, although she was willing to do it, raising my late sister's son, Simon. And about 3 years ago, to bring some extra money to the table with a teenage mouth to feed, growing boy, I decided to start a cleaning company. And someone told Shirley that, like, one of the best things you can do is this new thing called TikTok. And so we started making TikToks of, like, just the satisfying before and afters, but then people kept asking for more and more. And so the ACTUAL inside of Shirley kind of took over, and where there is muck is it where is the muck or where there is muck? Just so consistent.
It's where there's muck.
Where there's muck. And really blossomed into like a whole thing. And it's kind of like she was one of the, just like getting the word out, but then it's kind of like one of the early podcasts to do like true crime or something like that. And so we're like one of the first, and that's led to a whole new amount of business and money for the family. And she's driving next right now. She's sitting shotgun, and she's driving next to Paul, and she's running by like different catchphrases. And she's like, "Now I know this one's controversial, but where there's muck, we give." And then like a semi like goes by or something, like cuts her off right before she. But
good.
That's Shirley.
Awesome.
All right. And again, apologies. There's going to be fireworks in the background, but I'm going to be playing Simon Martin. I'm Shirley's nephew. Her sister was my late mother. I
love the fireworks. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
It's good.
Yeah, it was supposed to be last Sunday, but then we it doesn't matter. Anyway.
Let's pick a Thursday night.
Yeah. So, and I've come to town to talk to my aunt. One, because, you know, she needed some help with the show, and, you know, I think this is kind of cool in a sort of a weird way. But two, I need to talk to her. She sort of promised my mother as she was dying that I would go to uni. And I've decided that I want to be a full-time YouTuber. And I think I need to drop out of uni to make that happen. And I'm trying to figure out how to break this to my aunt, that the one thing she promised my mother, and part of me hopes that she'll understand it because of how she blew up on TikTok and created Where There's Muck. So I'm hoping she's going to be sympathetic.
Have you talked to her about this yet? Have we talked yet? Or is it like, are you getting ready to drop a bomb on me?
In my mind, she's the one who inspired me to pursue this.
Of course. Well, she is an inspiring actress. I can't do a British accent. I'm going to try all night, but
yeah.
Can I ask what Simon is trying to be a YouTuber for?
I'm going to... I don't know because I'm old in above the table. I would say he wants to be like a he wants to be like a tech reviewer, like, there's one, there's that Linus Tech Tips. One of the guys actually is from my town. Marquez Brownlee, he's kind of a big, but so he sort of sees that, and that's what he wants to be. He wants to get into like these tech review kind of details. And his aunt inspired him to do it, but it also means he needs to break the promise his aunt made to my dying mother. So
maybe like you've talked about doing your own stuff, but you haven't mentioned like, I want to drop out. Okay.
No, not that. Cause I've always shown a lot of interest recently of like, how did you do this? And I think maybe I'm being subtle. I don't know if
bless
I am.
his heart. He wants to follow in my footsteps.
Right. But I'm actually, here to help out. But so I'm kind of nervous, and I'm kind of like, okay, all right, I got to tell her. But not right now. Now's not the right time. Not in the car.
Now's not the time.
So is everyone in the van? Like all six of us are in the van? Like
no.
Okay.
So I think it's we'll say it's the three clean. Like there's a cleaning van because you guys got all the cleaning stuff and the mops and the rubber gloves and stuff. That's all in the back of the van. And then the van behind you guys is BBC 8, the Ocho, heading to with the camera crew behind you guys, because this is I'd like to emphasize this is like C-level TV that you guys are a part of. Yes. So it's not a good time actually, because as you guys are riding along in the car, Simon is going to get a phone call, and he's got bollocks, and he's gonna it's illegal in England, I assume, to talk on the phone, so he's gonna shove the phone over to you, Shirley. He's like, could you get that, love?
Ta.
And it's is this Paul?
Oh no, my dear.
Who am I?
Better half.
Yes, this is Mrs. Martin. Yes, this is Jeremy from Muscovy City Council. How far out are you guys?
Simon, how far out are we?
Love, I think we'll... No, I'm not going to do a voice. We'll say you guys are maybe 20 minutes away.
Oh, we'll be there in 10-15 minutes, tops.
All right. Simon shoots you a look as you say that. Or excuse me, Paul shoots you a look as you say that. And Jeremy on the phone says, oh, right. Just so you know, and I'm just going to go in and out of voices all day.
Just commit.
Just so you know, love, the whole town, there's no cars allowed in town, right? So there's a car park on the outside of town. You're going to park your cars there, and then when it's time to... I'm sorry, we keep going.
No, it's so good, but it's so fucking Australian.
It's going Australian, it's going Boston. We're just having a great time with it. Park your car over in the...
Keep going. I'm so sorry.
No, go for it.
I was really trying.
No, it's going to be all over the place. Just wait until we find that guy. All right, so... Yeah, so love, you're going to park your car on the outskirts of town, and then you're going to put some shrimp on the barbie. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Stop.
You're going to park your car on the outside of town, and we'll meet you. And yeah.
Oh, well, that's quaint. And she gives a huge eye roll to Paul and Simon.
Okay. And as she says, or he says, all right, we'll see you in 15 minutes. Phone cuts out.
Ta.
Bye-bye. So you guys are about 20, 15, 10 minutes, depending on how much Paul floors it. He gives you a quizzical look like, hey, what's going on?
Oh, apparently this is one of those quaint little towns that don't allow automobiles, so we'll need to find the car park when we get there.
You find that, yeah, next to the shrimp on the Barbie. Okay. Why don't let's start rolling some dice. Why don't one of you give me, either of you have a skill you'd like to use to try and find out what you know about this town of Muscovy?
I mean, I have computer use 65, so I could probably, if I could get cell signals, I could get on my phone. But
okay.
Matt, if you've got something that I'm cool stepping aside, maybe you have like
No, go for it. I mean, I'll give a history roll to see what she knows.
That could be interesting.
But then you should also do your computer one, probably. Yeah, no. She says something to Paul and Simon, like, usually I hear about these towns, at least a little something, but Muscovy, that's, it's not really ringing any bells. I bet it's got one of those little miniature villages that we can go walk around and see a little miniature version of it. I wonder if they include our van.
All right. And
okay, here's my computer use.
Okay.
So Simon, do your Google Muscovy miniature village.
I'm like, okay, Auntie, and I Google the town, but maybe I don't do the miniature village one.
Gotcha.
And then I secretly see if I can find the Instagram account of Ellie Stamford while I'm back there, because she seems kind of cute.
Yes, that is not hard to find. So we'll come back to that in a second. So what you know about Muscovy? Tiny village. I mean, we're talking 1,000 people or less here. It's in North England. It's from you're on Trivago. There's not the Wikipedia article is 2 lines. It's tiny village, 1,000 people,
known
settled
for
in.
Its strong Boston accents.
Exactly. Really good shrimp. And it just, see, that's going to be a thing now. And but it takes you to a link to a Trivago, and you're scrolling through, and it's, there's a bunch of Yelp reviews for the 3 restaurants that are in town. It's really far away from everything. Closest rail station was an hour car ride away. No school. You see a couple of reviews on an old forum of, hey, the school closed down, and the cottage hospital closed down, and there's still a post office, but it's also a tea shop. This is the kind of town this is. There's just nothing in this town. So there are a bunch of national parks around, and that's kind of, you actually stumble upon a news article or a Facebook post of Muscovy City Council is proud to announce that Where's the Muck will be coming to Muscovy on such and such day, and we're happy to have them and happy to get our little slice of TV time. And so basically there's just not a lot.
Okay.
All right. And then at that point, are you distracted by being a millennial and wanting to go on the Insta, on the gram?
Yeah, maybe there was somebody back in uni, he wasn't too serious, but I just got dumped, and so I'm like, oh, that sucks. So I'm like, she's cute, and so I just got to check to see if she has a public, she's private by request, checking those things out. Definitely
public. She just graduated from some university. Again, not super familiar with South London. From somewhere in London. She's a city girl. And do you accidentally like one of her pictures while you're scrolling through?
Yeah, because what I'm doing, I'm trying to see is are there any guys in this picture or a girlfriend, anything to give me an idea of. Yeah, should I roll something to see if I accidentally?
Yeah, sure. Roll a luck.
Perfect. I'm terrible. I definitely.
Yeah, you definitely, not just one picture with a 96. You accidentally like one, and as you're trying to unlike, you go through a dead cell point, and like the screen jumps, and you like another one, and then there's another jump, and you like a picture of her in like a string bikini kind of thing, and you're like, oh god.
Yeah.
And then you notice a little bubble pop up in the text, the message part. It's from her, of course.
Shirley leans over, like all she sees is a string bikini. She's cute, and then she scrolls up, and then she sees who it is.
Yeah,
really, Simon.
Yeah,
Auntie. Yeah. So I unlike the picture. I unlike all of them, and then I click on the text on the DM or whatever.
It says, "You like what you see?" Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face.
And so then I'm sort of taken aback. I'm like, I'm not good at any of this.
No.
So my character says something that's witty and appropriate. But yeah, he Simon's like, yeah, sorry, came off as a bit of a creeper there. Accidentally hit my phone screen, but you caught me.
10 times.
Yeah. She says, no worries, totally used to it, love. It's all good. Hey, are we almost there? ?
And I sort of write back like, oh my God, right? I heard about 20 more minutes.
Gotcha. And then ... What do you mean, right? Does this happen to you a lot too? ?
Oh, the few times that we've had to do this show and I'm texting, it's always been out in the middle of nowhere.
Gotcha. She says, oh, definitely thought you meant random guys liking your pictures of you scantily clad, period.
And for a minute, I'm like, do I just delete my account now? Do I just shut the whole thing down and walk away? But I'm like, and so I sort of hit like a letter so the ... hangs on her end for a minute.
Sure.
And then it deletes so it disappears. Then I hit another letter and then it sort of hangs for a minute. And then finally, I'm like, I'm so embarrassed. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean anything. It was just a dumb misclick. You're not. And then she's like, what am I not cute? But
yeah, exactly. As you're saying that, Shirley, your phone dings, and it's Tom, the cameraman. He says, would you tell Simon to stop texting Ella? We're trying to have a pre-recording meeting.
Simon, why don't you check the chemicals? Why don't you check the rags? Make sure they're all folded.
And so I'm like, sure, Auntie. And so I just text like, looking forward to seeing you on set. See you in a little bit. And I sign off. And then I get to checking whatever perfunctory.
Completely folded rags in a box.
Yeah.
Sealed Windex containers. Yeah, it's all.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Right.
Everything's in plastic. It's all very neat and orderly. Okay. We'll say as you're checking that, the car will veer suddenly into a parking spot. So you're kind of thrown for just a minute as you unbuckled to check the boxes of supplies, basically. And Paul leans over. Actually, it would be the other way because they drive on that side. Leans over and says, "You good back there? We're here."
Yeah, and I sort of rub my head a little bit, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, Uncle."
Okay, good. And he, so you guys all kind of pile out of the vehicle. You see two gentlemen standing kind of off in the middle distance there, waiting at the edge of the car park. Paul seems to have parked about as far away from them as he possibly could have in this gravel lot. There's maybe 4 other cars parked, all of them pretty old, pretty beat up. And there's a gentleman in a derby cap and a tweed vest. and another gentleman who's got an untucked button-down shirt. Looks just really bored. They're both middle-aged, maybe late middle-aged, and they start walking over to the cars.
Oh, Paul, this place is cute. Maybe when we retire?
And Paul looks at you and he says, "There's no pub. There's not
Surely
a pub.
there's a pub. There's a pub on this map I just found, labeled number 3.
There's no pub. There's no pub. There's only one pub. I need at least 4 pubs per square mile in order to function. You know that. You see me when there's only 3 pubs."
Hello, gentlemen.
they're taken aback, and they say hello on the other side. And so the guy in the tweed vest comes up, shakes everybody's hands, and you see Manda come around, and she's in a top to bottom pantsuit, very serious, very out of place for what's going on right now. And Manda, just as a reminder, is your producer basically for the show. And she comes over and she says, "Charlie, Paul, shall we meet the town council here?"
Yes, is this the town council?
And she looks at the 2 people, says, "Yep, I'm Jeremy, and this is Michael, and we are the town council."
And you call yourselves a council?
So
Well,
there are
that's
2 other. There's 2 other open slots, but they're open slots. Elections will be later this week.
Well, you have a very charming little town.
Thank you. And as you say that, a shingle falls off a roof somewhere in the distance. Thanks. We're trying to. This is Jeremy speaking. He says, "Yeah, we're really trying to get cyclists to come to the town. We're really trying to lean into this national park thing around us. But what you see is what you get. This is the beautiful hamlet of Muscovy."
Now, I can't quite place that accent. Is that
I have a cousin from New South Wales.
That must be it. Well, where there's muck.
We're gonna. Never mind. Another shingle falls.
Shall we get down to business then, gentlemen? I'm sure my producer. I'm all for these pleasantries, but as you can see, Miss Manda is all business.
Yeah, she's got a BlackBerry. You didn't even know they still made BlackBerries, and she's on it, like typing furiously. She looks up. She's like, "What?" I'm sorry.
I think we're ready to begin, Manda. And by the way, I'm Shirley. This is my husband, Paul, and this strapping young gentleman, Simon.
And so I sort of, when the van stopped, there's sort of like steps 1 through 5 that I always do. So I popped open the back doors and I started sort of unloading some of the crates to get it ready to transport.
Oh, shit, we got to carry all this stuff, don't we?
And so, yeah. So I
Yes,
was just like, oh, God. So I started undoing the crates and like the boxes. And so then I sort of like peek my head around and say, "What's up, Auntie?"
Come introduce yourself.
And I sort of look back into the van and see everything that's still left to unload. But I'm like, ugh. And so, yeah, I come over.
And Jeremy looks at you and kind of sticks out a hand and says, "How you doing there, son?"
And I take the hand and I give it a good shake. I'm like, "Sir."
Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. Michael, this is Simon. Michael, Simon. And Michael just kind of, from he's kicking gravel down. He's very interested in what's going on with this very, very busy town. And it's at this point that Ellie comes and kind of knocks your shoulder a little bit. She does a head jut. Says, "What's up, kid?"
Yeah, and I sort of sheepishly, lower my head with a smile.
What time of the year is it, Patrick?
We'll call it late summer.
Oh, great. Had a nice summer, have you, Ellie?
Oh, it's
She slips her a wink. because of the picture, obviously, is what she's alluding to.
Of course. She says, it's really interesting that you say that. I actually just came back from a vacation to Cornwall, and
The beach?
yeah, of course. And I have these killer tan lines. Only really, really small tan lines, though. And she looks at Simon.
And I'm just looking at the ground and blushing because, I got caught.
It's at this point that Tom walks up and plops a giant bag at the feet of Ellie. He says, "Right, love, you get that for me, would you?" He's got grease stains and mustard on the corner of his mouth, and he's, "Well, this shit ain't gonna clean up itself, love."
Where did we find this guy?
He looks over and he's like, "Well, that's right proper you just say there, Shirley."
No, I didn't say. No, I'm not saying that in character.
Oh, you're saying
I wouldn't say that to him. I'm sure Shirley loves Tom, but I'm just reflecting as an aside. Where the hell did, I don't know.
So
he does work for the BBC and has to know how to work a camera. I'm assuming.
Well, he works he's the cameraman. He just plopped the sound bag at her. The boom is sticking out. There's your shit, love. He's shouldering, a bag. I don't know what, Art, you're gonna have to correct me. He shoulders this big bag of camera equipment. There's cords everywhere, and it's, there's a half-eaten Snicker bar hanging out of the side.
Oh, Tom, dear, you've got mustard on you. You've got some yellow on you. Oh, Tom, my dear.
He pulls out a handkerchief that looks more disgusting than his shirt that he's got on, and he does that and then wipes his face afterward, and he's like, "Thanks, love, appreciate that."
where there's muck, there's Tom.
Usually that's what my mom used to say, God bless her soul. Right then, where we off to? And he looks at Jeremy. He says, you in charge, yeah? Jeremy is obviously disgusted. He says, yeah. So really, you guys kind of parked on the far side. I mean, I know we only have one parking lot, and we try and keep the town from the cobblestone's very late Roman antiquity. We don't want cars going over them. Just very important that we maintain that so that the cycles, the bicycles can ride over them in comfort in a couple of months. So the house is on the other side of town.
Oh, how charming.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get the tour of Muscovy at least. Isn't that right, Michael? Michael's. Yep.
Say, is there a wagon or a hand truck or a hand lorry? Do they probably don't call them hand lorries? I don't know.
And
got
Michael
a dolly around here.
Michael and Jeremy look at each other and we assumed that you guys would bring something like that. That you are the cleaners.
Oh, sure, we have some stuff. We'll make do, love. Don't you bother yourself.
Gotcha. So we do need to settle up on the fee. I would like to get this settled beforehand, if that's all right with you. I assume, Mrs. Martin, that you are the bank account, the purse strings in the family, and.
Yes. Now, we have a base rate, of course, but before we settle on a fee, we'll, of course, want to see the job site, which we can provide a more accurate, as you can see, and she kind of turns around to, Mandy or Amanda or whatever, and Amanda, hands her some paperwork. Here's our base rate, and here's the schedule of fees. It's all very straightforward, but, yeah, we never clean anything sight unseen, so we'll want to take a look at it first, and all that stuff. If it's a non-starter, then of course we can't make the show. So how about we head over there, and maybe we can do the tour later.
And Michael and Jeremy are looking at the paperwork, and Michael is kind of blanching at the numbers, as far as you can tell, and Jeremy is just kind of dumbstruck, and he's like, well, I mean, we'd really like to settle this before you see the house.
Oh no, that would never fly. Trust me, my dear. Now let me tell you this, and if this seems to be a role or something like charm or something, think about. I tell you what, you watch that Gordon Ramsay on TV, and he has those kitchen nightmares and things like that. Those episodes do gangbusters for those little towns. How would you like more bike tourism, and they can come see the quaint little cottage that we've cleaned up? You won't know what to do with all the tourists.
Okay. Give me a persuade roll, please.
Just so close.
You want to use some luck?
Yeah, I'll use 2 luck points. Whoops, I was
Okay.
change it to edit. So I'll spend 2 luck to.
No, you're good.
So I guess we should say, like, did we
Awesome.
say that luck lets you change rolls by adding adding to the values to change the numbers?
Yeah, so I'm going to spend 2 of my 30 luck, which we only have a little bit of, to make it a 67. My persuade was a 65, so I'm using 2 of that to make my 67 a 65 and make it a pass.
You got it. You got it. So he looks very uncomfortable by this. And he says, all right. I mean, just don't hold it against us, okay?
Look, love, I understand you're probably embarrassed by the muck and the mess and the junk and the clutter, but love, we know what we're getting into. That's our job. Where there's muck...
Another shingle drops as you try to finish the sentence.
Yeah, some geese flies by.
Yeah. Well, no, a single bicycle like rides by it.
Ding, ding. Yeah. Where there's muck, we give a ding ding.
Ding 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 ding. Yeah.
That's an
All
interesting bike bell, Patrick.
Ding 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 ding.
Yeah, that's
good.
Something, I guess. Proceed.
Wow. Okay. Roll a bike roll check. Okay. A bike bell check.
A bike bell. Yeah, a notice.
Yeah, a notice for bike bell. Anyway.
Sorry.
Fuck both of you. He looks at that. And
I didn't do anything. Just got to drive by here.
Exactly.
Caught in the crossfire.
I'm sitting here going, wow, Patrick's doing a great job. What about Art? What?
Oh, wow, thanks.
Art is walking by, gets smacked by the face right on the bike as he goes by. Ding-a-ling-a-ding-a-ding. What's that noise?
So it's at this point you hear Michael mutter something as the bike rolls by, and you think he says, "Old Gertine" is what you pick up from what he says. Old
Sorry,
Gertine.
love, you have to speak up. That bike had the most peculiar bell, and I just was completely distracted by it.
Yeah, and he looks at you. He's like, "You'll see."
Now,
It'll be...
Is it a matter of the amount, or are you worried about like grossing us out? Because like Simon, I've seen his room. Nothing is going to gross me out. So we can just, if you want to pay the maximum fee, we can also go that route, and then.
But you see Michael and Jeremy look at each other, then they look back at you, and they both say at the same time, both, for grossness and size. And they're like, this is almost the entire council's budget for the year, what you're asking us to pay. So maybe we can work something out. And they're starting to walk down the thing.
Well, our rates are our rates. I'm sure we'll settle on it.
Yeah, and Tom's shouldering his thing. He says, "Right, where the fuck are we going?" And at this point, Jeremy kind of takes the lead, and you guys start heading this way. So you're heading, follow Tom on the map for those that are not, for those of you that aren't watching on YouTube. First of all, you should. It's a great place to watch. But we are heading northeast in Muscogee. Not that anybody's going to know that. Okay, cool. So you guys are following. There's lots of, again, the cobblestones. Great cobblestones. Really understand why they don't want to drive cars on these cobblestones. You see Roman numerals. They look very old. And it's a cute little town. Most of the town, most of the little village homes that are around as you're walking are closed, boarded up. There's just not a lot going on. The tea gardens are overrun. it's just kind of downtrodden as you walk through.
As we go by like the fourth house, this must be it. Like
like each one. No, not that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus.
Yeah, and after the fourth or fifth house, Jeremy turns. He's like, no, the other side of town. Like, this is still this side of town. We're gonna pass by. We'll pass by Lucy's tea shop, the pub, the school. This is gonna be some wonderful.
Hear that, Paul? They have a pub.
Paul looks and he's like, one pub. And he says, what's the name of the pub? And they just look back. They're like, it's the pub. And then they keep walking. They keep walking. Amanda's charging ahead. She's just walking and rolling. And you guys walk for a while. Let's see. Do you guys, who wants to give me a notice roll? Either one of you.
What is my notice? Are these...
What?
This is crazy. Is this alphabetical order or is it...
It is alphabetical order, I believe.
Why am I not seeing notice?
Am I crazy? Is it not actually called notice? That would be embarrassing.
That
spot
sounds
hidden.
right? Oh, spot hidden. Yeah.
Spot hidden. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a spot hidden.
Ooh, I blew that.
Nice. So we'll say that as you're kind of, are you in the front or are you trailing behind? And what are you carrying?
So I'm trailing behind, and I've got back on the truck. I figured let me just stack 3 like crates of cleaning supplies, thinking how far can it be? And so now it's proving to be much further. And so like I'm lagging behind. I'm starting to try not to breathe heavy because Ellie's nearby. Basically every time I feel like my aunt says something that's totally demeaning, like, oh God, you remember when he used to wet his bed? Like that's when Ellie happens to walk by to set something up or to drop a bag off. And so I'm trying not to continue to humiliate myself, but I'm starting to really sweat. You said it was late summer, and I'm like, but trying not to look like it. But I'm dragging.
And it's late summer in England, so it's like 68 degrees, and that's just sweat, absolutely bamboozling hot. And we just lost our English subscribers. It's great. So yeah, as you're walking, let's say you like set down the boxes for just a second, like you're like, oh God, like it's hot, right? And you start to, on this house next to you, you see a little bit of movement just along the gutter. And as you look, you just catch the quickest glimpse of gray fur, pink tail, beady red eyes.
Gross.
And it stops and it looks at you, this rat, and then it scurries down a gutter out of sight.
Now I'm part of the cleanup crew. Would seeing a rat necessarily trigger me in some way, or did I see something about this rat in particular? It's like, whoa.
No, it seemed like no. Give me a biology roll.
Okay. Let me see. Do I have biology?
You should. And if you don't, I need to go.
Sciences, I have chemistry, physics.
Not everyone will necessarily have a biology roll.
That's right.
If you don't have it, then you could do like something more generic if you wanted.
Yeah, I forgot that he was not studying biology like the rest of his family. Give me a
natural world.
Yeah, sure. Give me a natural world.
I'm bad at that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, look like a normal rat to you. Look like a normal rat to you.
Okay.
Maybe a little.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe a little big. Maybe a little big.
All right. So I say, Auntie, we're in the right place, and I sort of realize, okay, I need to catch up. So I stack the crates and start walking again.
Okay. Manda, who's had her face buried in her blackberry the entire time, looks up. looks around and says, "Nah, this doesn't look like the pictures," and keeps walking. And it's at this point, as you're going, Tom and Manda are up front. Paul is behind them. Ellie is kind of leaning, holding back just to... She's enjoying making you feel awkward, I think. And this carries on for some time. You pass the pub. Anybody want to do anything at the pub while you're walking through? Or are you on a mission?
No, I sort of see if I can do two things. One, just see if I can see any life in the pub. Two, try and get a reflection, just see how greasy I am with this awful heat.
Okay. Super greasy, first of all. And this, let's go ahead and have you roll a... just go ahead and do another spot hidden while you're there.
Wow. I'm going to spend 5 luck points to change that 70 roll failure to a 65, which is my skill. Oops.
Okay.
So we go to edit mode. So now I'm down to 20 luck.
Excellent. So as you look in, the windows are super grimy. It does appear that there are a couple of lights on, maybe one person at the bar and one person behind the bar. The guy who's at the bar looks pretty disheveled, big mangy hair, gray hair, and he seems kind of slumped over at the bar. And the person behind the bar is just, idly cleaning a couple of glasses. Maybe they're flipping channels on the TV. Just very generic barkeep things. But nothing other than that. That's all you really see through the grime. And you hear Ellie lean up behind you, says, "See anything?"
And I'm kind of geez. Yeah, no, today is not my day. No, it just looks like a normal pub. If you, I don't know if you're gonna get off sometime. Maybe we can get a drink. And I realize my phrasing.
She looks at you and she says, "Okay, maybe. Let's think about that, champ." And she hustles ahead and is now standing behind Tom. And you guys are going. This has been like a 30-minute walk to the other side of town at this point, and you guys kind of come to the edge of town at this point. And outside of the town, you're kind of, it's turning from town into fields at this point. You see a church, looks like an England-fearing Anglican church on one hill to the right, and just past that, another couple of blocks maybe, you see just a single chimney sticking up. And Michael stops at this point. He puts his hand on his hips. And he says, "Nope. You guys have fun." And turns around and walks back into town.
So are we in agreement on the fee?
Jeremy's still standing there. And he's like,
"Oh, sorry,
yeah,
Jeremy."
no, Michael goes back into town. You see him go into the pub. And Jeremy's standing there. He says, "Yeah, people are kind of weird about this house in town. So don't mind Michael."
Why's that?
So we have an odd tradition. As far as you guys continue to walk towards the house, and he says, "As long as this town has been around, there's always been a rat catcher in town." And almost going back as far as when the town was founded, it almost seems like the rat catcher was here before the town. Probably not, though. It's up for debate. But there's always been a rat catcher. So this is the rat catcher's house that we're going to, and people don't like rats, so that's where we're headed to.
The current rat catcher's house, is he still, or are they still employed?
He gets a little sheepish looking. Go ahead and take a... You have any roll for... I'm sorry, I don't have my skill list up. Let me pull it up. Go ahead and do a... throw me a... drawing a blank here, guys. Throw me a
What
charm.
what am I trying to determine?
You're trying to see if you can push him to do any. Like, he seems to be holding back information on the rat
Okay.
catcher.
Sounds
Yeah,
like handgun.
Yeah, perfect. Brawl. Yeah, he seems to be pretty sheepish about.
Whoa.
Okay.
Very nice. Extreme
that's-
success.
So, wow. I mean, I'd really like to know more, and it gives us some more information while we're making the show. And I could probably work that into some charming, aspect about Muscovy. We can talk about the charming little critter catchers, and she's reaching, but
Yeah.
she's turned on the actress charm.
So I think he looks at that and he like sheepishly is scratching the back of his head and he's like, "Look, Mrs. Martin, I don't know if there's any way to really spin this. So this is old Gertine's house that we're heading to, and he's in the hospital in Appleby right now, which is the town next door, because he got hit by a bicycle as we." And I kid you not, that's actually in the adventure that he got hit by a bicycle. So, yeah, he got hit by a bicycle. And, I mean, nobody really kind of knows where he came from. He just kind of ran out of the woods in front of this guy. And he got hit by a bicycle. And he was babbling on about just rats. I mean, he's always been kind of crazy. Nobody likes to go to his house because it stinks. And that's why he lives way on the outside of town. And yeah, I mean, he's crazy and he's in the hospital and nobody's been to visit him except his some of the guys at the pub, but even that, it's been intermittent.
Well, I'm sure we can do something about that smell. We have a motto around here: where there's muck, we give a.
Hear the church bells start ringing at the same, as you said, one single dong, and yeah, as you do that, go ahead and give me a you got it. There's a nature roll in here somewhere, I think. Natural world. Give me a natural world roll. Both of you, please.
No problem. Natural world. Oof. Awful.
Okay. It fucking reeks. You're probably 500 feet from this house, and it smells something god awful. It is probably the worst thing you've ever smelled. At this point, Jeremy has kind of stopped. He's like sheepishly, he's like, "Yeah, no, this is about as far as I like to go." Yeah, that's it for me, guys.
What is that smell?
That's the rat catcher's house.
But I can't quite place it.
Neither can we. It's just Gertine's house.
13.
And then at this point, Simon, I've been lagging behind, trying not to sweat through my clothes completely, carrying these crates, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Oh Jesus!" Like it just hit me. I'm like, whoa, my God, what? And I put the crates down. I'm like, oh, what is that?
It's Ellie leans over. Gertine, you'll catch on.
Oh God, damn.
Reminds me of your room in the summer, Simon.
Oh, Auntie. And then I go stun off.
And she says that as she walks between you and
super awkwardly between the
Just
two.
if I can
of
just
them.
get through, if I can just get by,
Right.
there's miles on either side. But
yeah, I choose the long path to walk between you and Ellie.
yeah, and I totally don't keep my cool when I just Auntie, and I sort of stomp off, and then I realize, oh God, I'm blowing this, and then I go get the crates.
Auntie. Super whiny. No.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And Tom, of course, adds his bit of he kind of is up there and he's like, "Oh Jesus Christ, this is the worst fucking thing. This smells like something I puked up at the pub after a long night. Like, what in the hell?" He's like scratching his beer gut and at the same time like wiping sweat. He's pouring. He is not attempting to hide the sweat as he carries this giant bag of cords and things. I mean, he is just one giant like pit stain right now. And he's like, raw, this smells like weak old bollocks. And yeah, that's
So,
what he adds to the conversation.
Jeremy, before this becomes too much, should we agree on the fee? I'm worried that we should. This might need to be a little sizable if I want to keep everyone involved here. I think we're all struggling with this just a little bit.
He looks at you and he gets a little quirk on the smile. He says, "No, you can't settle up on price until you see the inside. You know, no sight unseen. Wouldn't wanna step on that."
Fair. Let's take a look. How about you lead the way?
He smiles and he says, "Absolutely." It's more of a grimace, but there. You walk up to old Gertine's cottage. So let's pull up a thingamabob. Ba-ba-ba. Okay. So the screen should be black for you guys now. Yes? Excellent. So you guys pull up to, let's just see, it's been a minute. And there you go. You are at the front garden of this house. And let me pull up the description here. It is an old house. First of all, it is ancient. I mean, this thing has been here hundreds of years, probably, and it's really disgusting smelling as you're right here in front of it. And there are. Do either of you have an architecture skill or anything similar to that?
I don't
Anything
believe
at all?
So. Similar. Let me see. Photography is not the same as architecture. Not really. No.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. All right. Well, it looks like an old little cottage at the end of the lane, right? A single story. Honestly, from the outside, doesn't look like it needs much. The outside's pretty cute. Pretty cute little whitewash. You know, the hedges are trimmed. The panels, you know, the shutters are all in good order. And there's a dark green front door.
I'll say, Jeremy, this is pretty charming.
Yeah, as you say that, the smell actually goes into the back of your throat, and it's almost enough to gag you.
Would you say it's like engulfing my uvula, or like can I like feel it on my uvula, or like
tickling?
Yeah, there you go. But that smell, Jeremy, I must say, is the rankest I have ever smelt.
Yeah, that's why we're here. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
And
how
then
bad could it be? Oh, good.
No, and then as Simon walks by, putting the crates down, he's a little bit of a smart ass because of what Aunt Shirley's been doing the whole time. I'm like, you know, Aunt Shirley, if you can smell it, it means it's inside your nose. And then I sort of keep walking and put the stuff down. Like that's actually a comeback.
Yeah, like
Ellie was not impressed.
Yeah, no, Ellie, like, she's starting to assemble the boom. And she, like, gives you just this, like, what the fuck look. Like, she's just confused more than anything. And Tom is setting up the camera, and he's like, right, I think we need to get a shot here as you guys are entering the house. I would really like to get a lovely shot of Shirley and Paul opening the door, and their genuine, again, their genuine reaction going into this house. We slipped into Australian there for a minute. Again, it's just natural. So he's setting up the camera, and he's like, yeah, I just want you guys to open the door. When I
Jeremy,
get
would that be
up.
fine? I know we haven't agreed on the terms, but I think that could be interesting to get our genuine, actual reactions.
He's like, absolutely. Yep. Nope. That's perfect. Perfect with me.
All right, so Shirley steps in front of the front door, and like Paul's there with her, and like and Simon too. Like I think when Simon's like a special guest reoccurrence, and like the fans do love him because he's an awkward, you know, teenage boy. Well, like you're not in uni yet, are you? Or are you in uni? Sorry.
I pictured myself like between my sophomore and junior year, like enough.
Oh, okay.
Where like I'm actually throwing something away, and
okay,
just above the table.
Uh-huh.
The way I sort of envisioned Simon was a little like Wesley Crusher on Next Generation. I don't know if people know who that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, he was always sort of
Trek.
like this. Yeah, he was like a little.
Will Wheaton's character, Patrick.
Yeah, Will Wheaton's. He was always like a little nerdy, and everybody sort of just tolerated him because
everyone hates Wesley Crusher.
But that's the thing. Nobody really. So I kind of see myself as a little annoying on set, and just annoying in life. So, but I've had it hard.
Okay. Well, so the three of us, like, we get in position, and Shirley being the actress, she leads it off, and she's. Are you ready, Tom? Everyone ready?
Yeah, love, you look great. And
what can I remember? Ellie?
She thumbs up.
Mandy, you good with all this?
She's typing away and she looks up. She's like, yeah, no, that's fine. We got like a day to go, folks. Let's get this. Come on, we got to get some B-roll on the way back too.
And also, what's that smell? Like she just notices for the first time.
She's like, what the fuck is that smell?
All right, so everything clicks on and she goes, hello, loves. We have quite the undertaking for us today. If I could just put the words on the odor that seems to be wafting from this quaint, unassuming cottage behind me in the lovely town of...
Muscovy.
I didn't write the town. Muscovy. Write that down so that doesn't happen again. And of course, as always, is my partner in crime and special guest with us is my loving nephew, Simon. Now, folks, I promise you this will be one of our most challenging cleanups yet. But you know what we always say, where there's muck, we have buckets. And then like Paul and Simon hold up their buckets. Like that's the terrible catchline we've been working with. And so, shall we come along for an amazing adventure while we tackle the muck and find out what's in store in this cute, charming cottage? See if we can turn it around. Mary Kondo, eat your heart out, and then she whips open the door.
Okay. As you open the door, there's a very old-fashioned parlor room in the front, and there's a tiled fireplace. The smell is overwhelming. I cannot.
I'm sure we're just
that.
assaulted by the smell as soon as it's open.
As soon as it opens, but it's clean on the inside.
Folks, I cannot even begin to overestimate how awful this smell is. In 3 years of doing this show, you have never seen me have to plug my nose. I can taste it. In the thing in the back of my throat, I can taste the smell.
It's called a vulva, Auntie. And then also, and then I just instantly go,
yeah. And you see Ellie, you just see the mirth on her eyes, and like she's like, you can tell that you've just been. Yeah. She's like, she's never gonna let you live that down.
Right. And then I go beat red, and then I look right at Ellie, and then I go, oh.
and like
keep cool.
Shirley's red because she knows we can't retake this. While he's gagging, Shirley's like, as you can see, folks, this is like nothing we've smelled before. But come on, Tom, come in close. Now, folks, if you look here, and then she's like puzzled, because she was about to say like, I think we'll have to start with this, and she's like, folks, this is bizarre.
Yep. So, as you look in the hallway, like there's mail, and it's all like neatly stacked on the side, like the entry table. There's a couple of wall paintings. They're faded. They're old looking. They're fine.
As she walks in the entryway, she like runs a finger down the little table that's holding the mail. Is it?
Yep.
I assume it's like a normal amount of like dust. It's not like.
Yeah. It's
like he's been in the hospital and shit. But
yeah. which above the table, I should have said this earlier. I apologize. He's been in the hospital for a month, so
Okay, so there's
yes,
probably some dust and stuff.
yeah,
I'm
a little
assuming.
bit of dust.
Okay,
Yeah,
because
just
it'd be really weird if it was like spick and span. Then we have
no,
like,
no,
something
a,
really weird going on.
a normal amount. Yes, the cleaning Cthulhu. A normal, a normal
worst
amount
kind.
of. God, yeah. The rats in the walls actually have brooms and things. It's great. Anyway, so
well,
yeah,
folks,
a normal
I will
amount
say
of dust.
that our homeowner has unfortunately dealt with some unexpected medical circumstances and has had to leave this home unoccupied for upwards of a month. And I will say that despite this despicable smell, that, well, this is quite a bit better than old Simon's room, I'd say.
Auntie.
All right, excellent. Let me reveal some more areas here real quick.
And all this is like in between, like she's trying to even like do the charming, like over the top, being a ham actress thing, but like it's still just like better than old Simon's room. Like she's still struggling to like really hold back. Yeah, like all three of us are on camera, like while it fades away, and we're all just like.
All right, I would like both of you to make a Constitution roll, please.
Nice, hard success. Oh,
Oh,
look at that.
damn.
That was a.
But folks, as repulsive as this is, where there's a bucket, there's a squeak. Like
There's a.
no, like there'll be a squeegee noise that's like put in after
Oh,
the fact. Like,
okay,
I don't
I
know.
gotcha.
I gotta
Yeah,
stop doing
she's-
things that rhyme with fucking ucket. Like I gotta come up
Yeah.
with some other kind of catchphrase.
Yeah, as you're trying to say that, Paul just projectile on yeah, just everywhere. It's all over the front stoop. It's just it's awful.
I guess our jobs just got a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, and he's like, oh god, and he like you see him like it just transition out to if it's a shaky cam, right? Like he's like pushing past Tom, and he's like, oi, and he's outside. You hear him gagging on the outside. He's like, oh Jesus, what?
Folks,
Oh.
it's as if someone had taken pickled herring, stuffed it inside of haggis, blended it with lutefisk, and then fed it into the furnace and central air through rotten egg filters.
I think that's accurate. That's accurate. So as you're still recording and in here, you see there are, and I did not reveal it enough. There's a door. There's a hallway at the end. It's a T hallway at the end. There's a door to your left and a door to your right. In this kind of entryway here.
Tom, we have to pause. Tom, cut. And like Shirley just like runs outside and she just starts like hacking it. Then she's like, Jeremy, we have to agree on a fee before I spend another second in that house. Simon, are you doing okay?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm good. I'll get the mop for Uncle's for Uncle.
Let's just check this real quick. Yeah, no, everybody's vomiting at this point. Like it's really bad. All of the camera crew.
Shirley is holding it to. I am gagging, but I am not upchucking, sir.
Let's check Tom's. Yeah, Tom's having a bad time. He's like, he's not vomiting, but you can tell like he's sheet white. He's just like, oh god, oh fuck me, Jesus Christ on a cracker. He's Scottish now apparently, and it's so bad.
Jeremy, we might have to insert our hazard addendum. Like, this really is just rotten. So if we could agree on the fee, we'll get to this. We'll figure out what that smell is. But Lord above.
He hasn't come anywhere near that. Like, he's still standing in front of the hedges. Like, he has not gotten any closer. He's like, I told you. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, if I could just bulldoze this place under, I would. But it's in the pamphlet. We printed it in the pamphlet for the cyclists. Like, it's more expensive for us to.
You advertise this smell?
We advertise the cute architecture of our town.
Mm.
There are exactly 4 places to visit in this town, and this happens to be one of them. This is the second oldest building in town.
I'll tell you that the inside is surprisingly tidy, but this is going to require deep cleaning. This is going to require sanitation. The walls will have to be scrubbed. All the linens will have to be changed. And she just starts listing everything out on the schedule and then has her deep clean. Basically, we're giving this like a smoke damage treatment with how bad this smells. There's no way this is not seeped into every little crevice and every little nail. And she comes up with a number.
Yeah, it's a large number.
Yeah, it's going to be towards the upper max.
He looks at that, and he sighs, and he signs his name. He says, anything to get rid of that smell.
Now, we're cleaners. We'll do our best.
Right, we're not priests.
He says, look, that's the next step, I think, is if you guys don't, we're going to have to get, Father Malarkey to come over here.
Father Malarkey.
To come over here and look at it. I mean, that's how bad it is. So, this is just what we wanted to try first, I guess. Now he looks and he says,
maybe you should have started with the priest because
he chuckles a little bit and he says, look, you guys are going to be really busy. And he looks up at the sun or at his Apple Watch and he's like, yeah, it's back half of the day. Sun's going down, big guy. You guys got this.
Before you go, the deposit check, please.
He says,
as we discussed, it's 30% upfront.
Do you really only take check? And he pulls out he's got his phone in his hand.
Oh no, of course, Mandy.
Yeah, yeah. And Manda looks up. She's like, who?
Oh, sorry, Manda.
Yeah, and she comes over and she's got a square and it taps. It takes a couple of times to tap it.
Oh, if that's not working, I think Simon has an eBay account. Will that work?
Yeah.
No, she's not completely inept, but
yeah. They figure it out. You get the ping on your phone and it's 30% right there.
Great. We'll send you an invoice for the rest. Of course, there will be incidentals and supplies. That's all factored in on top of the amount we quoted you. So,
he says, look, I'm going to go to the pub and try and wash this taste out of my vulva. You guys just come and tell me if we need to burn the village down, okay? And he starts walking off.
Ta! All right, team, gather round. This is one of the most offensive projects we've ever undertaken. Actually, the cleaning is going to be dead simple, I'm afraid. Simon could clean this house by the looks of it. But there's obviously something here, so everyone keep an eye out. I want everyone going top to bottom on this house, checking the air ducts, checking everything. We need to get underneath. If there's a basement, we'll need to check that. Crawl space, attic space. Paul, I'll need you to check those spots. Tom, give him a hand where you can. Let's find this smell and let's exorcise this smell because this is offensive to humankind.
Yeah, and Tom chuckles. He says, love, I ain't going anywhere near that house. I'm like, look, I'm the cameraman. I'm not taking anything and cleaning anything. I just can't get this guy's voice down. So, but that's what he says.
Well, just give Tom a hand. Keep the cameras rolling. We get it.
Right. He's munching on the other half of the Snickers bar at this point. You don't know how he's eating anything, but he's munching on the other half of that Snickers bar. And
Great.
Manda looks around. She's like, I'm gonna go answer emails over there, and across the street in a field away from the smell.
All right, Ellie, you got everyone mic'd up. Are we good to go? Are we ready for the first shots?
She looks around and she says, Simon's isn't actually his chest mic isn't really working. Let me take a look at that. She comes over and she's feeling all over it. She's
T-pose and let her.
Give me a electrical repair roll.
Ooh, bad.
Yeah, you're pretty sure there's nothing wrong with it, but you're not going to complain. And yeah, and she's done. She says, "Okay, yeah, you're connected. The Bluetooth is working, and yeah, okay, test, you're good. Cool, awesome."
So, Tom, I want to start off with our room by room overview. We saw the entryway. That was great. Everyone, when you're not in shots, I want you taking a step out to get fresh air. Simon, I don't want you passing out or upchucking. We already saw that once. You don't want to embarrass yourself, honey. So get fresh air when you can. Let's go room by room. Let's see this house. Any questions?
No, I don't have any questions, Angie. You keep trying to make me look like a kid. I'm not a kid. And then I go grab a crate.
Paul's got like 4 sets of yellow gloves in his hand. He's handing them out. He's just making himself useful with little things.
Don't forget your wellies. And she slips on some very cute muck boots that with like some kind of, I don't know, they have strawberry design prints on them or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Her signature.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So you guys going into the house and exploring it room by room? Is that what I hear?
We're going into the house, and Tom, start rolling. And so she steps back in the entryway, and she goes, "Now my husband Paul is doing an exterior sweep of the house, but our young strong help is here to accompany me as we go room by room. Now this is a peculiar instance, it's a little different for us. Normally we have the homeowner or the tenant on hand to walk us through the building, but we've been left the keys more or less, and we're going to explore this house together. And so Simon's here to help me tackle anything really tricky while we find out what's in store in this house."
Okay. Awesome. Where, so like I said before, you've got a door to your left, a door to your right, and then you see a hallway at the end that'll tee off in 2 directions.
Well, might as well start with the right. Righty, okay. As we say.
Okay. So as you open that, you've entered the parlor. Okay. There's a fireplace set on the far wall. Let me reveal it. Revealing. Not that there's a ton to reveal. There you go. So that's the room. Long, rectangular room, pretty normal. There's a large mirror with heavy gilt above the fireplace on the end of it. There is a single photograph in an absolutely hideous frame that's on the mantelpiece. And yeah, there's a white leather sofa. Looks pretty clean. Tiger skin rug on the white leather sofa. Bookcase. Some china ornaments and pieces of crystal. Glass coffee table. Everything again looks pretty good. On the coffee table, there's a leather-bound book. A couple other leather-bound books in the bookshelf. Looks pretty clean. I mean, about a month's worth of dust, but you know, even the the slippers are tucked in underneath the coffee table. It's very clean.
So other than a good dusting, and she drops down like into a squat by the rug, and she beckons Simon down. She goes, "Now, Simon, you've been with us for a few times. When we're dealing with something like this, do you know how we need to treat this this tiger skin rug?"
And Simon, he's like, "Yes, Auntie." And then he sort of starts digging around some of the crates, and he's trying to find like a sort of low moisture, sort of not quite so harsh cleaner. Maybe it's like the more all natural. And he's gonna he realizes that first steps, like you got to do like a good spot cleaning, because you can't trust the heavy equipment to really dig into the grime, because it might damage this kind of rug. So he's like, "Yes, Auntie," and you grab this cleaner, and then he starts sort of
Well, since I'm so glad that Simon knows, but for our viewers at home, what Simon is using is a low chemical, not very harsh, all natural cleaner, and now he'll want to apply that, and we're using a no moisture method here, because we don't want to cause any damage to the tiger's skin. Isn't that right, Simon?
Oh, right. Yes, Auntie. Yes, that's right.
Thank you for explaining exactly what you're doing. It's very helpful.
Yes.
Give me a chemistry roll, Art.
I don't believe I have chemistry.
What?
I think
So
that's
you
the
can
one.
We had this conversation
Yeah.
earlier.
You have chemistry.
I do.
Yeah, over on sciences, on the bottom right. Like
Oh,
it's
sorry.
broken out.
Chemistry. What was the one we didn't have before?
Biology.
Biology. I'm sorry. That's what it is. I do have. You're right. I failed.
Okay. So Shirley, what horrible chemical does he grab out of the bucket?
So he's about to like just throw like the borax or something all over it. Now, what we don't want to use is borax. Like while he goes to shake it, she like grabs it, and what we want to use is the all natural, like Bart's Bottoms scrubbers.
Willie's.
Now, I'm a big fan of this, and you know, all of our products are endorsed 100% by us. We stand by all of the products that we use on this show, which is a great time to mention our sponsor, Bart's Bottom Scrubbers.
Excellent.
Not harsh, all natural, great cleaner, great for those tiger skin rugs at home. Also, great for those pesky rings that form around the bottom of your toilet. Works wonders, folks, I tell you.
And Tom's like zooming in on the material. He's like, "Right, that's excellent, love. Just keep it going there, love." And yeah, so that's the parlor. Other than that, seems pretty normal. I mean, like,
Simon, when you are an actor, when you are on the screen, whether it's digital or in front of people, you need to captivate them. You not only need to show, but you also need to show and tell, especially in this reality TV. Show and tell, Simon.
Right, Auntie. You know, Auntie, that reminds me, I need to talk to you at some point.
Yes. If you want to be, you know, imagine that lingus tech guy you like to watch. If he shows and tells you how to do things, be like him.
Sure thing, Auntie.
Yeah. Tom zooms in. He's like, "Yeah, just don't be a fucking twat about it."
Insightful as always, Tom. All right, should we get the next shot?
Right.
All right, let's go across the hall.
Okay.
Now, folks, other than a deep cleaning of the rug and the sofa to get we're dealing with really offensive chemical seepage into these items. Those will need deep chemical treatment to get those smells out. If you're dealing with a smell like this at home, first off, God bless you and best of luck. But if you have a deep smell in your own couch, here's what we would recommend. And she goes through that, and then let's step across the hall and find out what's waiting for us in there.
All right. So do you attempt to open the door?
Oh yeah, she's just assuming everything's unlocked.
Yeah, this door, it opens, but it doesn't open very far. Maybe an inch.
An inch?
Yeah. Like you push the door open and it hits something.
Okay, enough to like, can I get my hand in?
Yeah.
Simon, now sometimes when you're on a job site like this, you have to be a little bit creative. And here's one of my favorite tricks, although this doesn't really come up often. And she kind of checks the door again to see if it budges.
Nope.
Okay, Simon, if you'd be a dear, could you get your telly out and please turn your flashlight on and maybe just kind of stick it in there and see what we're working with. Maybe record some video, take a picture, something like that, and we can show the viewers at home. And
yeah, I was about to say, so I would stick my thing, turn on the flashlight, and exactly that. I turn on, video record, and I just sort of do a slow pan around, and I sort of get right down to see if you can see what's blocking the door.
Give me a luck roll real quick, please.
Oof, I'm not good at that, but here we go. Nope, failure.
Okay. As you stick your phone out there, it starts to kind of flicker. Like the battery, like the flashlight starts to die, and you know it's starting to make the screen's acting weird, like you dropped it, or you got some water in there or something, and it's not one to not functioning properly like you'd think.
Okay. Yeah, so I sort of pull the phone back in, and I like sort of, I pop the flashlight on off to see if it's working now. And
yeah,
or is it...
seems to be working fine.
Okay, and then I check to see, like, I stop recording and see if anything's on the video, or did it even record?
Yeah, I think just a very brief, like a 2-second video. I mean, most of it's just like real choppy, like a poorly downloaded video, or like it's trying to catch up. You don't have bandwidth or anything, but which is strange because you're just recording locally, right? That's just weird. But you see like stacks of paper. That's like the briefest flash of stacks and stacks and stacks of paper.
Simon, what did we see?
Yeah, and I sort of like take a look.
So what Simon's showing us, folks, is stacks and stacks of paper. Now, yeah. Simon, this is not the first time we've dealt with a hoarding situation. What do we know about stacks of papers, what it can mean for the homeowner and the home itself?
Well, for the home itself, it could mean that, depending on the weight, that maybe the floor might be slightly unstable if it's carrying too much weight. We have to sort of keep an eye out for that, structural integrity and all that. As for the owner, well, it just means, I guess, and I'm trying to remember, but I'm blanking. And then I'm like, I guess you got to be ready for anything, right? Right, Auntie?
Well said, Simon. Structural damage, well put. This is also a huge fire risk and a risk for the homeowner. Folks, if you're dealing with a hoarder in your family, it is so important to get the right medical and physical help for them. This is a huge hazard. If our homeowner was walking through here and these piles of paper toppled on top of them, well, I don't even want to bear to imagine what could have happened to him. So well said, Simon. We'll definitely want to access this room, and we'll keep working on that, of course. But let's see what else the house has in store. Maybe there's another room or another door into this room. And when the camera stops, she's like, "Hey, Paul, we've got a hoarding situation going on. I cannot get this door to budge."
And you hear just from the other room, "Got it. Add it to the list. Understood." And like he's outside, like scrubbing something already.
Now, folks, it's important to remember we can't just throw this paper away. That'd be very tragic and triggering for our homeowner. So we'll have to have some kind of process to sort through this, but we'll at least do our best to clean it, get it organized, and work with them and get them the proper help to make sure that we're not throwing away something that would really upset them. Or like she's really like pandering to the audience here,
right.
Like really what she wants to do is just like take a snow shovel to the whole room. But
sure.
Like she's on TikTok, and so she's really playing it up.
Is that what she's going to do when the cameras stop rolling? Is she just going to, take a snow shovel and throw that shit
I
out?
don't know. She'll probably yeah, that's a good question. No, I think she's annoyed by having to do that and she's playing it up, but I think Shirley's like a good person. So okay. I think she would she's going to be pissy about it. But anyways, so all right, let's see where else we can get in this house.
Okay, so you're going farther into the house. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, for now. I mean, yeah, okay. This is like kind of how they open segments, is like a floor plan. They call it their floor plan, but they just go room by room.
Okay, so you make it to the end of the hallway, and again, faded prints, pretty normal. There are, as far as you can tell, there are 4 doors going into this room. Let me reveal the end of the hallway here. So bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, so there is that. You see 3 doors leading into various rooms in front of you.
Okay.
To the right, as you look up, you see the up into the attic, and there's another door that way as well. That's going to be the room that abuts to the parlor with the fireplace. And I'm revealing that now. So
okay, but there's no door to the blocked off room.
Correct, as far as you can tell. So you guys, you've got basically 5 doors to pick from, plus an attic.
I was going to say plus the attic. Okay.
Oh, so there is a door going into the blocked room, it looks like.
So it's adjacent. It's a room adjacent to it.
Okay, but there's a door on that side of the house. At least, okay.
Yes.
All right,
Yep.
Simon. Any of these doors fancy? Are you fancying any of these doors?
And I'm like, well, Auntie, we went right last time. Let's go left first.
Oh, of course. Okay. So she'll try the door that adjoins to the paper room.
Okay. So that is, let me pull up a map here. Okay, so that door opens. It is a bedroom. This one is basically, it looks like a ladies' room, right? There's a dressing table. There's an antique silver vanity. There's a brush, a mirror, a comb, a couple of lipsticks that look like they've been there for God knows how long. There's a family picture next to a bed that's pretty immaculately made. And yeah, that's what you've got in that room. And there does not appear to be a door leading to that room, to the paper room.
Well, folks, you would never guess it from a room having an appearance like this, just how awful this smell is. As you can see, this is a very tidy room. We'll do a general dusting, a general cleaning, sweeping, mopping, all of those things. Get all those pesky little dust bunnies out of here. But she walks over to the picture and picks it up, the family picture. Is there anything weird about it, or is it dated, or?
No, but it looks like, because it's modern times, it looks like maybe 1950s attire. Man and a woman and a little boy. And that's what it looks like. Pretty normal. Looks like it's seaside in the background kind of thing.
Cute family. And she puts it down and she goes, let's head across the hall and see what we find.
All right. So you're going across the hall. Check which room that is. Okay. So you pop that room open, and it is a sitting room. And I'll just reveal that real quick so that you guys have it. So in the sitting room kind of thing, it is... it's a very kind of less formal place. There's no, as far as you can tell, no TV. There's an old floor radio that you would see, very analog. There's a small turntable on another side table. Looks like a couple of records, maybe a few 78s. Really, this whole room looks like it fell out of the 1970s, right? Romance novels, westerns on the bookshelves, a couple of books on carpentry, cookery, and yeah, that seems to be the sitting room.
And now, Shirley's starting to lose some of her cool, and this is really off-putting to her, and she's kind of other than general dusting. And she says, well, Simon, we certainly have a cracker to deal with this time.
Yeah, and it's adjacent to it, there's a small bathroom as well, kind of just down the line. The bathroom is all white tile, spotlessly clean.
Concerning exactly what this smell could possibly be. Now, folks, we have yet to mention exactly what this homeowner does, but we've been told they're the town's rat catcher, which is starting to give me the creepy crawlies.
All right. And as you say, creepy crawlies, down the hallway, both of you give me a spot hidden.
Hard success, baby.
Okay.
Oh, extreme success for Matt. Nice.
As you kind of pop out of the bathroom and are just kind of standing in the hallway, Shirley, you're starting to get a little crestfallen. Tom is starting to be like, okay, what are we going to record now? And you hear just the faintest kind of scratching noise from down the hall. And I think that is probably a good place to call it for the night.
Very nice. Very nice indeed. Well done. I enjoyed that.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sweet. Don't like rats. Can
Yep.
just imagine the sound. Looking forward to exploring the rest of this.
Yeah.
Next time we'll be back for Call of Cthulhu in 2 weeks time ish.
Yeah.
Schedules pending and all that stuff, but we won't have the full introduction. Like we just did that to kick off the scenario. We'll just kind of dive in and get going on it, I guess. Awesome work, Patrick.
I'm glad we started with
I'll try
Cthulhu.
and have that.
I'm glad we started with this one.
Yeah.
This is good.
Me too. I'm excited. And we'll get more into the weeds with this one, but there's a lot going on in this little town. So
nice.
Yeah,
cool
I mean,
stuff,
it's
guys.
like with any good Cthulhu thing, like you got to lay the groundwork a little bit. Like I've done some older stuff, and it is cool. And like sometimes you're just thrown into a situation, but like laying the groundwork, I think is,
yeah. I'm a fan of that
go.
personally. I don't know if it makes for interesting for the people out there, but I personally, as a player, I really enjoy taking a little bit of time to slow burn the intro.
Yeah.
Get into it. Yeah. So
awesome.
Right.
Awesome work today, guys. You did awesome time.
Yeah. Thank you, Patrick.
And thank you
thanks,
to
guys.
our listeners and watchers. If you're watching and listening, make sure to do the whole like and subscribe thing. Spread the word. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. Whatever you want to do. But yeah, spread the word. Thanks for if you got thoughts or feedback or anything, leave us a comment, shoot us an email. Any of those things, that'll work. And yeah, thanks for checking us out.
All right. Take care, guys. Take care, everyone.
See you guys in 2 weeks.
The music during the RPG session in Foundry was provided by the Foundry module Tabletop RPG Music and composed by Ian Fisher. You can find his Patreon at www.patreon.com/tabletop RPG music, all one word.